Hello, welcome to Warpaints Miniatures. I'm Jim and I need a haircut. Tonight we're going to be painting the Pirate Queen. You can find her here at myminiaturefactory.com. We'll be using Army Painter speed paints and war paints. Let's get started. This miniature was previously primed with an airbrush using Vallejo's matte black, followed by zenithal sprays of gray and then white. After the primer is dried, I begin adding sprays of speed paint, starting with pallid bone from above, but only on the front of the miniature. I'll be spraying the same colors I used in my previous video for the war column, the primary difference between them being that I did not base coat with metallics first. I then spray Crusader skin from above from the back, followed by anti-zenithal sprays of Sand Golem and Fire Giant Orange to the front and back respectively. And then allowing enough time for the speed paints to fully dry, I then add blood red to the corset and boots, and then hit the entire miniature with Testor's Dull Coat Matte Varnish. After the varnish is set, I start with the flesh, as it'll be the most drastic change in colors from this point and also take the most time. I think all of the paints that are applied by brush in this project was thinned pretty heavily, in many cases to a glaze or just before it's a glaze, to the point that this base coat took about 4 to 5 coats. I even thinned the wash some before applying it lightly. I've been wanting to really focus on getting smoother results and have been purposely ensuring I fully shake my paints for at least 30 seconds with a high-powered mixer, and then thinning them, admittedly probably too much in some cases. After the wash dries, I add a little bit of the base color as a large highlight to bring back some of the original color, but leaving the deepest recesses, before adding a highlight of tan flesh. This highlight was done over about 3 to light glazes. I finished the clothing and weapons with glazes of layered highlights, nothing special. However, I did want to mention something important that I realized. When looking back at the previous items I'd painted, I started to note things I would do differently, as well as looking for general mistakes such as bad highlight placements and shapes. When I compared the 2 large busts I did, the woman on the right being the first large thing I printed and painted, it looked significantly better to me. Initially I attributed this to the fact that it was just a larger model and far easier to paint the finer details, especially the eyes. However, upon further contemplation, I realized a massive difference between the two, being that the shadowed side of the larger woman having highlights, whereas the shadowed side of Batgirl had none. Keeping that in mind, as I painted this significantly smaller miniature, I wanted to continue playing with the juxtaposition of cold colors on the back and the warm colors on the front, the idea being that she was standing on a beach facing the setting sun during its last few moments before dropping behind the distant horizon, and the cold light of the encroaching night embracing her. And no, I don't know how she manages stiletto heels on wet sand. Even though the base color of the back is a dark brownish orange, I begin glazing a dark blue over 4 to 5 coats, slowly building up a bluish hue, before mixing in a lighter blue and building a yet slightly brighter highlight, again over 4 or so coats, decreasing the coverage area by just a little with each coat. Anywhere I end up glazing too bright, I went back and transitioned or toned it back down with gentle glazes of the first dark blue. I keep the weapon's base color but add some highlights and a final extremely thin glaze of fairy dust just to add a little sheen to it if you angle it towards the light. This I only add to the upper facing portion of the blade on both the front and the back. This is the final result. For lessons learned, I think I need to try and get a size 01 Winsor & Newton brush. I've been primarily using a size 2 for fine details because the brush keeps such a good point, but the eyes and lips on this miniature were even smaller than I'm accustomed to, and the size 0 brush is just too small, unable to hold much paint, making it more of a pain than a boon. It's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you learned something or inspired to start or expand your own collection. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jim with Warpaints Miniatures. I'm truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.